Welcome to South Harmon.
I'm back.
He's back.
What's up, everybody? Wednesday night AMA. We are live and back in the building.
Yeah, we are here, baby.
Back
We're
together,
ready.
Adam.
Back together at last, you know? How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great.
You look
You
good.
didn't answer the question. Did you miss me?
Did I? Come on. Did I miss you? Do I make Dynasty fantasy football content? Honestly, don't answer that because I know.
Okay.
Let me rephrase everything I was just saying earlier. Let's go Pacers, huh? I mean, Midget Unicorns got a team, you know.
He does, man. Finally got some
be
success.
Excited about that at least, right?
Indiana, you know. Let's go.
The Midwest, if you will.
They're gonna
right?
get fucking gaped though. Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, I saw somebody talking about how the Thunder basically. The Pacers have been a good run, right? But the Thunder are basically everything they are except better at every specific piece that you could look at. So
here was the craziest one I saw. Just a little basketball for y'all. All right, they were talking about it. 122 possessions that Tyrese Halliburton's been guarded by Lou Dort. You know,
Ooh.
They call him the Dorture Chamber.
The Dorture, yeah, not good.
122 possessions, Adam, basketball terms. You know, 122 times, and Tyrese has 8 points. Like,
really?
That's the engine that drives that whole fucking Pacers team. And Lou Dort, yeah. So unless the refs, you know, kind of help him out, or Tyrese figured out, you know, how to overcome Lou Dort. Ooh.
Not great, huh?
This is not good. Not good, Bob. That's not a good stat.
Not great, Bob, if you will, for sure. So let me ask you this then, buddy. What is going on with you? What is going on with you? Talk to me. Give me something. Give me anything, man.
Hey,
what's new?
You know, Mom's was in town last week, so you know, had to spend some time with the fam.
For sure.
Doesn't happen all the time. Been a while since I've seen her. She's on the way out to Seattle. She sold her house, right? They sold their house. They bought a giant camper that's like fucking obnoxious. So now they just travel the country. Yeah. So they're gonna go hang out with my brother, my very successful, smart brother, who's also the dumbest person I know.
Hold on, that doesn't math to me. Explain that. Give me something on that.
He's the dumbest smart kid I know. I mean,
the dumbest smart kid I know. Okay.
Very high. I mean, he makes me look like a complete fucking failure. But this is also the same guy that's pissed in his own eye.
He makes me look like a complete failure.
You know, P-Gate. You remember P-Gate? Yeah, peed in his own eye one time.
Okay, now I understand it all. By the way, Mike, I don't know how this. It makes no sense. There's no correlation really here, but it reminds me that we have a special time coming back at South Harmon. Little blast from the past. I haven't quite got the opportunity to give you, you know, people, if you haven't been there, SAUVAGE semester's coming back, Mike. Got a little just a tight. There's no real hype, just a little bit of something I wanted to share with you guys because I feel like this here, buddy, is the truth of the matter.
It is.
What do you think of this one?
Bill, you're gonna miss the bus.
Yeah, you better get your beautiful buns up that driveway.
What a weirdo.
Oh, back to school to prove to Dad that I'm not a fool. I got my lunch packed up, my boots tied tight. I hope I don't get in a fight. Oh, back to school, back to school, back to school. Well, here goes nothing.
We start next week. Don't miss the bus. Do not miss the bus. If you're in the SAUVAGE tier on a weekly basis for at least 2 months, we'll run through here. Once a week, we will do a show basically like Mike and I are doing right here, except with a bunch of hooligans. 10 of us, 12 of us, whoever it is, all coming talking Dynasty, talking BS, wearing hats, drinking, having a good old time, and making it the SAUVAGE semester. It's a time like no other. But I don't know how that correlated with the P in the I, to be honest with you. I really don't.
I wouldn't put it past these yahoos to piss in their own eye. you know,
You
on
think so?
SAUVAGE.
You know what? Maybe on the bus that would make sense, right? Like with the bus passing. Yeah, I could see that for sure.
I mean, we got a lot of Billy Madisons. We got a couple of Doyles.
Hey, I was as I was trying to pull that scene. Man, they don't make movies like that anymore, buddy. They just don't. You know, like.
Well, that's just because we're old. You know what I mean?
That's fair. Am I showing my age? Is that what just happened?
I mean, that's what happens when you reach a certain age, right? Like, especially as, you know, it doesn't matter race, right? I was going to say especially as white guys, but you know how the old heads talk, you know? Like, you young bucks, whippersnappers.
Damn it. You're probably about as spot on as a human could be. It just, you never like to hear that you're getting old, but the truth is, buddy.
But for us New Balance wearers, you know, for us who like to mow the lawn in, you know, what is it, 402 New Balance?
Are you a New Balance guy? I wouldn't have pegged you as a New Balance guy.
Kinda.
Okay, hold on, kinda.
Pause. We're transitioning.
Now, you're not doing the transition glasses, are you?
No.
Okay.
No.
My
eyesight is going away. Like
my wife had some friends over with a bunch of kids. Today was chaos over here. I'll just give you that. But I'm trying to take pictures for them, right? Trying to get 8 kids all in a picture plus 3 people. And you know what's crazy? The transition glasses for one of them is what was the holdup. You know
Gotcha.
God damn it! Come on, the holdup.
No. Speaking of movies, though, I mean, Sinners. I just see you can buy that on Prime now. So definitely gonna.
Even the guy from Indiana is concerned, Mike.
I would be. And then, man, big news for me. The F1 movie comes out in a couple weeks, man. Brad Pitt, man, we're gonna check that shit out.
I say, they don't make them. Are you going?
Definitely.
Awesome.
That's one of the ones I've been looking forward to for a.
When's the last time you went to the movies? Genuine question.
I took my daughter, probably in like January. I think we went to one. Went and saw the SZA movie.
Oh, okay, nice. All right. Yeah, I'm probably not. I'm probably, you know, I'm gonna be following in your footsteps, buddy. When my daughter's old enough to go to the theater, we're gonna probably end up going a lot. So
yeah, Keke Palmer SZA movie. I think it was January when that came out. That's what we went and watched.
I love it. Let me ask you. You took a week off. You spent time with your family. Listen, the closest thing I can give you to family is talking quarterbacks in the future class. And
let's go.
Mike and I, with a week off, we're like, listen, I don't really know why specifically. It's the off season, but we want to make this one a little different, a little special. And how different and special do you get and can you get than Sellers? I mean, come on, man. It's
Dude,
for people that are passing up on 26 for 27. This is going to be a fun episode, I think.
Couple things here that brought this on. When we kind of talked about it and it's been rolling around, there was a very belligerent YouTube commenter a couple weeks ago that was like trying to like fight me on the internet. But it's the way the internet goes. And YouTube comments are fucking hilarious, by the way. Love them. But yeah, some people are just, they're out there. Because on one of our AMAs, Adam, I dropped a little nugget that 26 is shaping up to be a better class than this year's 2025. And a lot of people don't like to hear that, right? They don't want to hear that shit. We're in the moment now. You know, how dare you even insinuate that 2026 is going to be better? So there's reason one on why, this episode needed to be done. And number two, like, we play Dynasty, man. We get so caught up in the moment, and rookie drafts are starting to fade, right? We're getting to the dog days of fantasy football where it's like, oh, man, can June and July just get the fuck over with, right? Like, let's get training camp,
nothing else.
baby.
There's no sports. Like, it's just over. Once this Pacers series is over, it's like you got middle of baseball.
I mean,
nothing.
Once it's a sweep in 4 games, like next week we're fucking done with like real good sports that at least for me that I care about, and it's just, oh God. But yeah, let's look ahead, man. We're playing Dynasty. Let's look ahead to what 2026 has to offer and just put some feelers out there. And plus, it helps the people kind of keep an eye on some guys in the college football season so they don't get lost in the mess. So when January and February rolls around, you're not like, all right, who the fuck's good? Who do I need to draft? Who do I need to pay attention to? Who am I really watching at the combine? I mean, we'll give you all that shit if you want to be lazy and wait till there. But it is kind of exciting to see how dudes progress from this time right now that we just bring their names up to how they perform in the season and how stuff will kind of shake out. One of those things, man. Some of these prospects, you'll get the firsthand knowledge, and you'll be like, man, I didn't even know this guy like played football. Like, I don't even know what fucking team he's on. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But now you'll kind of have an idea. And plus, campus to Canton is becoming such a big thing, especially for me. I love my C2C league so much.
It's getting bigger, you know?
I start Dynasty fucking 4 years earlier, right? Like I cannot stress enough how much fun Fizz and I are going to have in our C2C league with Jeremiah Smith and Ryan Williams for the next 2 more years of their college career. And then whenever they end up going to the NFL, like you talk about people bypassing 26 for 27 picks, we got that shit on our roster.
Well, yeah, and C2C go right ahead. They're all playing. Okay, I won't fight you. You know, come on.
They're already here, man. We already got them. So, hey, I heard there was a little hologram thing popping up too. Man.
Yeah. Well,
maybe making an appearance.
Are you sure that you're ready for that, buddy? You know, that's the question.
Dude,
I
am definitely ready for it, especially if we're going to talk about LaNorris Sellers. This is going to be my favorite for the 101 right now. Like, if you had to ask me, who am I going to put my money on to be that franchise, that dynasty game changer for your team in 2026? The 101, LaNorris Sellers. For a couple reasons, Adam. I mean, listen, I'm not trying to be clickbaity with the fucking title talking about the next Josh Allen or Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
This dude is like Anthony Richardson, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts. Extremely, extremely athletic at the quarterback position. Now, granted, let's be honest, I don't think he's Jaden Daniels or Lamar Jackson from a speed standpoint at the quarterback, but he's pretty fucking fast and pretty quick. He is just built like an absolute fucking tank.
You ask, you shall receive, buddy. Let's get right into this. Let's
do it.
Let's stop pussyfooting around, you know?
Boom. Oh, what is this? Like Terminator? Oh, that's what that ball is.
What the hell? What the helly? What the hally?
Look at this one.
Whoa.
Dude, holograms are back. Feels good to break them out in June, don't it?
Just when you thought that it couldn't get any different, Mike. 26, not 25. And how about different, Mike? You want to just start it off with Sellers? I was kind of thinking about saving it for last. Let's just kick it off.
Let's start it off with the creme de la creme, man.
I love what I'm hearing out of you. I really do. So let's go ahead.
The elite.
Let's talk.
The elite.
Let's talk whoa.
Look at this guy.
Did you see that? Is that Josh Allen? Is that LaNorris Sellers?
Might be both. This guy is fucking good. Ooh, could be Jalen Hurts.
Whoa. Wait, is this?
Prophecy is true.
The prophecy is true.
The prophecy is true.
Is this Neo? Is this the one?
It could be the one, man. 6'3", 230, 235. Could be 6'4", too. He looks a little taller than 6'3". Can run. And the Josh Allen thing, the first thing they're going to talk about is, well, he doesn't have the arm like Josh Allen.
Sure.
Have you seen him throw the fucking football? That's that A-Rich shit, Adam. Like when we were hyping up A-Rich coming out, that flick of the wrist.
He has
easy velocity.
I was gonna put on the title. I put limitless, but I was gonna put honestly highly favored. Like the dude has, I believe as far as the traits go, Mike. Now, you know we never know what people are gonna become in the NFL side and how his season goes here. But as far as the tools and the traits, like this is everything that you want. Honestly, I mean, if you haven't seen him play, I don't blame you per se. But let me just tell you, he's running away from people. I mean, kind of reminiscent. I know you said A-Rich, but like him running away from everybody in Florida, right? This dude he's fast. He's built. He has a cannon of an arm, and I think he puts a lot of pressure on defenses because of the way he runs. You're seeing when he throws, a lot of times he's getting what he wants in reads because people are feeling like they have to stop him on the run.
Yeah, McShay did a podcast on him. I caught the little TikTok blurb from McShay's show talking about LaNorris Sellers just a little bit. And the one thing that stood out to me was when he was talking about he's got those things that you can't coach. right? Like either you got him or you don't. Like you can't coach that into somebody. And it's that athleticism, it's that arm strength, it's that creativity.
The creativity was what stuck out to me too. A guy that with all the tools and traits he has, he's thinking about plays that most people aren't even seeing. Speaking of the Madden curse, by the way, right? My Fizz is trying to make this a thing, the Adam Madden, because I'm cursing everybody with my jerseys, right? So, but to that point, Saquon's got they got a new move on the game because Saquon jumped over a dude backwards. You got to be that type of creativity, right?
If he wasn't as good as a passer as he is, right, it'd be a lot more developmental. Now, we didn't make a hologram for this guy, and he didn't make the list, right? But there's another quarterback who's very athletic, who's got this kind of a sleeper candidate for me, like along these lines, though. But Taylon Green out of Arkansas.
Ooh, I like it. I didn't
Boise State. We did not make one for Taylon Green, but Taylon Green has an arm. He's not as accurate. He's got a lot more issues throwing the football.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
But he's highly athletic, also built like a damn freak, like Cam Newton type build.
Right.
Just stupid good.
Yep.
But LaNorris Sellers, the difference between the two is, as a passer, bringing it back to the Jalen Hurts thing, at this point in their college careers, this guy right here on the screen, on the hologram, is far more advanced than Jalen Hurts was as a passer. Far more.
And that was where, when we talked to A-Rich especially, like that's where we can stop it, because A-Rich had limited reps and it was pretty rough as far as the passing numbers. So I'll say this, man. If you tell me right now, let me ask you just straight up, knowing if you have the two choices, you can have the 101 and 27 or the 101 and 26. Where are you at right now?
People are going to say it's hot takey, but I'm going to take 26, 101 right now.
I think, here's what I'll say. LaNorris Sellers makes it interesting, but I'll still take the 101 in 2026, a year earlier. The one thing is, like, Sellers is not a surefire guaranteed thing, but here's the thing. We have seen Jaden Daniels do what he did, right? We've seen Josh Allen take time to be develop into what he is. If you have a player this talented that gets drafted very highly, like this is intriguing. This makes the 101 really intriguing because, Mike, you've talked about recently in a startup, who wins the battle at receiver and quarterback, at least at the moment. Chase is getting higher than we've ever seen, but he still is losing the battle to, I think, at least 4 or 5 quarterbacks. So this would be the type of player I'm looking to shoot my shot on. Pause.
Definitely.
Right here.
I mean, you're talking about a guy, right? I mean, we want to hit absolute ceilings. The Jalen Hurts, the Josh Allen thing, that's not out of the realm of possibility at all. And listen, the trajectory is on, I'm not going to say it's like likely, but you can see the path. You can see the path there. And if you're talking about that, that's a player who's 101 in Dynasty. Now, you want to compare 26 to 27 right now. What we know about 27 right now is that, Jeremiah Smith, and everyone's going to be fawning over him.
And honestly, right? Ryan Williams is no slouch either, right? But it is going to be Jeremiah Smith for sure.
But let's just say Jeremiah Smith has this career arc where he does hit, he's Jamar Chase, step for step, right? Okay. We already saw the elite year in college, comes out, gets a draft capital, top 5 draft capital, and rookie year just goes bananas, right? Like sets rookie marks, the whole fucking thing. If Sellers hits his ceiling and Jamar Chase hits his ceiling, you could not trade, Jeremiah Smith hits his Jamar Chase-like ceiling. You could not trade in Superflex, a 12-team Superflex. You could not trade Jeremiah Smith straight up for LaNorris Sellers if they both hit their ceiling.
Sure. I will say what's interesting about that too, because I think that's definitely true. That is correct, but I'm not going to debate that at all. One thing I'm curious about, though, with a guy like Sellers, does it take the community longer than it should to buy into this player? Just because of it feels like they get scared off of a quarterback like this.
What he would be in a far different conversation right now for a lot of people if one thing went differently last year for him.
Which
they were just on the outside looking in for the college football playoff.
Dude, if he would have played in the playoff, buddy, could you imagine?
Because
one of them 40-yard runs in the playoff. Oh,
there's a lot of college football fans, but we can acknowledge when the college football playoff starts, they gain a whole bigger fan base, right? Like there are more casuals who will tune in and go, oh shit, like who's this guy? Like who's this guy?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Kind of like we knew Cam Scatterbo like was good throughout the season, you know, even in the dynasty community, but then seeing him in the playoffs like run, right? Like seeing him truck people all of a sudden elevates him to another level in the dynasty community as a whole, right? Because you got a lot more people talking about it. If Sellers, he was just on the outside looking in, man, and I thought they should have got in. I really thought they should have got into the college football playoff. The committee didn't think so.
It's kind of crazy. You know what's funny about it? Not that you're. I'm not even talking about them specifically. It's just I feel like it's not going to matter how many teams we put in. We're always going to have the debate of, you know, some teams getting screwed. Unfortunately, I do actually agree with you for the record, but it's like we just upped the teams and still getting it wrong. Damn it. Come on.
Yeah.
Get
that was South Carolina was a fun team to watch. Like if you didn't get to check them out, right? LaNorris Sellers at quarterback, Rocket Sanders, this big bruiser,
dude,
you know, with speed at running back.
The back
there was always the allure.
Crazy athletic.
You want to talk about one of his teammates that's draft eligible? You know, we didn't make a thumbnail or a hologram for him. But you want to talk about, like, build a player in college football? The receiver / maybe tight ends, but he doesn't actually play tight end. Nick Harbor, who's an actual, like, sprinter, too, at 6'5", 230 pounds, right? Like, that was just a fun team. They had that outstanding freshman defensive end who just unloaded the clip on everybody, you know, paused the celebration just a little bit, but he stopped getting flagged, shooting the place up, and then Kennard on the other side. Like they had they had a defense. They had the offense. They were exciting. They just, you know, they lost one game that they shouldn't have, and then college football playoff committee said, all right, the rest of the nation doesn't get to see you. So still kind of a little bit of a secret. Still a little bit of a secret. If you haven't done any like actual watching of LaNorris Sellers, please just go into it with an open mind. Watch it, even if it's just highlights.
I don't think you need an open mind. It'll open for you personally.
Tell me you don't get fucking. It gets me all warm and fuzzy inside. You know what I'm saying?
I was on Vibes. Maybe for like Dragon Chaser seems to hate certain quarterbacks. He really hates him some A-Rich. I don't know what happened there, but I don't know. Some people don't like, may not like. I think you're crazy though. This is to the point that Jake has up here. If he plays well this coming up season, Mike, to me, I don't think this is a hot take at all, him being the 101. I think teams are already showing more of a inkling to take a shot on a player that has as much upside and potential as a guy like LaNorris Sellers does. If he plays well again, like, I think it almost would become hot takey for him not to be the 101. Now, granted, we don't know what he's going to do this year. He's still a young player. I think he's 19 at the moment. So we'll see how he performs this year.
And after this year, he's going to have 3 years of starting experience for an SEC program.
He's going to come in at 20 to the NFL.
Not like a Rich, you know, It's 1 year and then, oh my God, that was it. That's all we got to see.
Well,
like,
and
much different experience levels.
To your point, I didn't look really recently. I was making some holograms, but I think he was like almost 67%, maybe it's a little higher than what he was, 67% completion. He only threw touchdowns passing, I think was low, but
his biggest bugaboo last year was turnover worthy plays was extremely high.
He got lucky because he only had 7 picks, but that's because that's who caught it, you know.
He needs to definitely, which back to the Josh Allen thing, right? Like Josh Allen's first 2 years, absolute fucking wild man. Like just laterals in a playoff game for no fucking reason.
All right, say what you want about South Carolina, but Josh Allen's playing at Wyoming, right? And I think people fail to realize at least Josh Allen's, I think, kind of a unicorn in just the trajectory he was on in college and in the NFL, and to develop into the passer he did. Really, when they got Diggs, he kind of unlocked his passing. But like his first year in the league, I think he was under 60% completion percentage, honestly.
Yeah, his first 2 years were abysmal.
How about 50? So in college, okay, Mike, in college, let's throw out the first couple years because he didn't really start much. 56 and 56.3% completion percentage, right? Go to the NFL, and got a lot of scrolling to do here on Wiki, but NFL first couple seasons, 52.8 and 58.8.
Not good, Bob.
Is that good?
That's not great.
But what's crazy is the 2020 season, when they got Diggs, imagine the last 4 seasons, including being at Wyoming, like the Cowboys. Not Fizz's Cowboys, but they might be able to beat them. 4 years in a row under 60% completion. You almost go to 70% completion. I mean, he has a lot of the traits, and it took him some time to develop. The crazy part is, though, Sellers in his first year as a starter, well over 60% completion percentage. So I think you got to like at least where he's at as far as, to me, there's a potential, obviously, for a wide range of outcomes. But if he continues to show that he can deliver the ball, even if he's making some mistakes, man, that's to be expected, I think. So if he's still putting the ball in harm's way some, but he's making good passes and accurate passes, he's going to end up being a very high pick in the NFL draft.
Yeah, funny story about Josh Allen. I got to watch him live in person his senior year of college. Wyoming came to Iowa. Yep.
Who'd they play?
Iowa, man.
Oh, they played Iowa? Wow, I didn't know that, actually. Okay.
He got his fucking ass handed to him, and he did not look like
the one thing about the
anything.
Cowboys' offensive line. I can't imagine they're ready to hang with the Big Ten Hawkeyes. No,
they weren't. They weren't. I don't know. At that time, he was getting like sleeper first round buzz. Like going in.
Were you after that game not buying it too?
No, I was like,
this dude ain't right. No. At least you admit it. All right, at least you admit it. Speaking of, Mike, did you have anything further on Sellers before I pivot out of this hologram?
No, just something to listen. We do have a dynasty franchise changing player potentially in the 26 class, right? Like, so that's where we start. Ashton Jeanty is as good as he is, and how much we hyped up hit rates a couple weeks ago, how solid he is. Like, Jeanty is not going to change the fortunes of your dynasty team. You know what I mean? Like, he will help make your team better, obviously. But ask anybody who's rocking Jaden Daniels from last year how much better their team feels now.
How they like that, or how they don't like not having them. Yeah, I know.
Jaden Daniels fed fucking families with that type of success. This is the next guy who could do it.
Like there's not nearly as many hungry situations and starving teams.
No.
By the way, questions here. We are going to get to the old school AMA intro and questions later, so I'm starring them. Go ahead and put them in here if you want. We'll get them lined up.
We'll move a lot quicker on the other guys.
Well, we will. Here's what I'll say, Mike. We have some solid players in this class, honestly. Some really good players, especially coming off of this year. What do you think of Love? Do you love Love?
Yeah, he's kind of like that modern version of NFL running back that teams seem to be looking for. We know how fucking fast he is, and you watched him at Notre Dame hit home run after home run after home run. He's not going to come out and wow you with his size, right? Like, this is not a Quinshon Judkins, right? It's not one of these 220-pound running backs who also happens to run a 4.3.
Sure. Nobody expected that. He 4.38 went out and tore it up.
And I would say he's not H-An, on the top end speed, right? Because H-An was an actual like Olympic quality track star. Jeremiah Love is a track star, all right? He's just not a track superstar like H-An was. I would say more Jahmyr Gibbs, right? Like more Jahmyr Gibbs-ish, which, listen, ceiling comp, I get it, but that's
a ceiling, though. The ceiling is the roof. I mean,
there is that, right? Like,
it doesn't get much better than Jahmyr Gibbs. For those that's
not
asking.
Bad. Could be people's dynasty RB1 right now. I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs pretty fucking good.
Well,
so
before we get everybody just absolutely ballooned eggplanted here, because I agree, but what do you think? Like, more reasonable range of outcomes? Do you think player count?
To kind of keep it a little bit more tempered. Like, what your expectation should be. Let's shoot for Aaron Jones. Jones.
Aaron Jones with draft capital. I like that.
Aaron Jones with draft capital. Yep.
Honestly, if Aaron Jones had draft capital, you know how much higher he would probably have gone in redraft and dynasty for forever.
Yep. But this is kind of more the modern breed of NFL running backs, right? Like,
True.
It is more of what we're getting into, where the 200-pound mark is like.
What is he? What is he? I think he'll probably check in close to 205, 210 for sure, right? Something like that.
Yeah, some people say maybe he's only 190, but like really? he looks a lot more put together than 190. Like,
yeah, I'm not out here, doing too much counting, but I think he's a little more girthy than that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say 210. Like 210 feels like a stretch for him. I think it'll be somewhere like 200, 205.
Okay.
When it comes to the combine time when he weighs in.
205 with a Jahmyr Gibbs. Like if he hits the ceiling, 210 would probably be the high end. I think one thing to keep in mind is the source. So I'm looking at Notre Dame. Well, here's Wiki has him at 212. You never know, right? I will say 210 is probably the high range of outcomes for him in weight, unless he goes like Travis Etienne, where he's trying to put on weight for
right
for no reason. To me, I was actually going to get to some other players, but is Love for you? Is Jeremiah Love the clear running back one in this class, or is that not the case for you?
I can't say clear. No, I can't say clear.
Damn it, I love the way you're talking right now.
I'm not going to go clear. There's a guy I like a little bit more, but listen, Love is definitely in that conversation, right? He's going to be a lot of people's number one, so I acknowledge that. But
is this the guy
clear
that you
for
love?
Me. There we go.
Did they face off? Running back for running back this year?
There's my boo. The next great Penn State running back. And
Dude.
You know the man went to Penn State, so when he comes out at the combine, he's going to like blow the fucking doors off the combine. Like just absolutely obliterate it.
Mike,
and
I
then
think
people
what's crazy,
give him the respect that he wants.
Especially because they were playing late in the playoffs, right? I remember in just like this random X. As a matter of fact, shout out Andrew. I think Andrew was in. We just got tagged. Like here, we're doing a random mock, and I got the 111. I'm like, well, I'll take the risk. Nick Singleton, if he goes back to school, I guess have to keep him. I don't know how that works in Dynasty, but Mike, imagine this running back class if Singleton actually comes out.
There you go,
25.
man.
But I think this is going to be needed for the 26 class to get another player that has really high-end range of outcomes. I think I love his game, to be honest with you. He's to me, a complete do-it-all back.
Yes. You can't put the elite comp at Saquon Barkley because that's a absolute freak.
Because he was created in a lab? Yeah.
But let's just say there's some shades. Okay? Obviously, he's not as dynamic.
Mike is leaving no comp unturned. He's
just
Barkley, Gibbs, J-Day. We got them all.
I'm just saying, he's not as shifty. He's not as shifty as Barkley is. But you want to kind of get that Penn
even
State
if you
vibe.
thought he was, he is not as rocked up. I mean, Barkley has the entire package is crazy, honestly.
Yeah. But Nick Singleton's a pretty solid 225, right?
For sure.
And speed, he is fast. He is quick, and he is sudden. I mean, for people who don't know, you take a 225-pound running back. I mean, he was doing this when he was a freshman. And they put him back on kick returns. Just because we want to find ways to get the fucking ball in this guy's hand as much as possible.
Because, dude, honestly, the thing about him, especially in his first season, I feel like you definitely were, if you just hadn't really realized how big he is, but man, a lot of times he's just going to the sideline because he's able to. He's that type of a fast player. He can just beat people to the sideline. Not that he won't run through you, but he can get to the sideline in a hurry, man.
So he has a verified in-game GPS time or GPS speed of 23.6, which is that's moving.
That's otherworldly.
That's fucking moving, man.
That's rare
a big
territory.
Boy, that
for
is
those that don't
fucking
know.
moving. He is a little bit tight, like I said.
I love the way you're talking to me.
He doesn't have that wiggle. What was kind of surprising last year is he really developed into a very, very good third down back.
I was just going to say.
His pass protection is phenomenal, like
Very
Trev
good.
Henderson level good. And then his route running and his hands were like, oh shit, Nick Singleton can fucking catch.
To be honest, the crazy if you didn't watch him, right? I think it was more on Drew Allar, which we'll get to here, but there was a pass that he should have, Mike, cleaned the field early with touchdowns. That I think he dropped it around the goal line. To me, it was a bad pass, but that if you saw that he has really great hands, honestly. Like, yeah, I think as long as teams really view him as a complete third down back and they do view his pass pro, which is honestly great this year. I mean, that's why Trev is so exciting, because of the fact that he's going to almost assuredly be in on third downs because he's such a good pass pro. If that's the case for Singleton, Mike, I think that's the thing about the current stage in Dynasty that's a little underrated. Typically, we want to, you see backfields that just they're splitting time. But if you're someone that you can't take off the field in third downs, you got a really good chance to buck the trend, right?
Yeah. I like this kid a lot. The running back class, while not as sexy overall or maybe as deep as 2025, there's some names, right? We just talked about two, Jeremiah Love, Nick Singleton. For me, his teammate, Kaytron Allen, is also very, very good in his own right. Obviously, I don't put him in the same realm as Nick Singleton, but he's going to be a name to watch. I like Kaytron quite a bit. And I think that kind of hinders sometimes Nick Singleton.
This guy?
Yep.
Yeah. To me, the crazy part is having a guy like Kaytron where, I mean, to your point, he when you're betting props like I did on Singleton, he was cashing them still, but he was getting enough run to make you worry at times about if he's going to get enough touches. It is
kind of like the Henderson Judkins situation last year, a little bit, right? Not direct comparisons for each. Nick Singleton more of that Travion Henderson role. Kaytron Allen, I don't think is as good as Quinshon Judkins, so I'm not going to say that, but a little bit more of that bruiser, that kind of thing, and they use Nick Singleton as kind of that change of pace, that get him in space, figure out how to get him involved in the pass game, third down savant. Kaytron, though, very, very solid in his own right, and he's going to make a pretty decent NFL running back for somebody.
For sure. I mean, Singleton's a 5-star. This is a 4-star kid. It's not, the guy's talented too. He's just not Nick Singleton. I was just going to say the one thing about Singleton that you talked about, 224, to have all the traits that he has, to be that size, like, mind you, Travion Henderson, I think he checked in at just north of 200, right? You're talking about a guy that's over 220 that has the speed, the pass pro. I don't want to, keep glazing him too much, but that's what I'm here for, I guess, today. Why not?
Yeah, and we got a couple other transfer running backs in the portal that we're going to be able to see a little bit more of at big time programs. Why don't you go ahead and talk your guy up? All right, this is a hologram people aren't ready to see. Shout out Tulane. Shout out the Green Wave. Shout out your guy, man, Hughes. Makhi Hughes, man, just absolutely fucking producing.
He's a stud, honestly. He's a stud.
Yeah. He is a fucking stud, so doesn't get a lot of love, right? A lot of people don't even know where the fuck Tulane is.
I was about to say, he's leaning over. I don't know if it's at me or the crowd. Like, yeah, I'm here. You see this? I'm here.
Yeah, that's the kid. When you watch the tape on him play,
you have to dig a little, but you can find it.
I'm not gonna
do this.
I'm gonna do it again.
No.
That contact balance, that smooth operator, similar to Alvin Kamara.
Oh, right. We are. I will say, if you thought you were going for 27 picks, those days are over, buddy. We got Alvin Kamara, Barkley, Gibbs, J-Day. And we didn't even get a comp for Kaytron, but he's a good one.
There's a giant asterisk, okay? I'm not saying they're going to be these players, okay? I'm just saying.
No, I'm actually leaning into the bit because I just want to make sure people don't try to come back and act like, yeah, we're talking high-end comps when you're saying these things, right? High-end comps on some of these. That's okay, though.
I mean, he played at fucking Tulane, all right? He played at Tulane. Nobody knew who the fuck he was.
The Green Wave. What do you want?
Now he goes to a program that's like front and center, right? For everybody.
Facts.
Right?
Speaking of which, we're going to get to some transfers, and, you're going to be looking at some, Yellow Jacket jerseys, which are now Tigers and so on and so forth. It's the portal, man. He's going
to get the world of NIL and the transfer portal.
Because, Mike,
welcome.
I don't think people realize that's why we came through the portal on our way here. We did.
We came through the portal. So Makhi Hughes, there's another name for you to watch.
One thing we always will. Listen, money, cash is king around here. Gentlemen, got a squad coming out of a punt quarterback. I think Mike likes this because there's a quarterback horde in the super chat, and his guy Hughes is going to just continue to surf this.
It's going all over the place.
4 first, 3 seconds, and 26, Mike. 2 first from subpar teams. Oh, talk dirty to me. Move assets to compete. Roster is below. Okay. All right, so Mike, it's a 12 team, so we're good there. Start 10, half tight end premium. Hurts, May, Penix, A-Rich, Dart, Shuck. You got a quarterback horde going. You did live up to that at least. Sanders. Wow. Genty, Caleb, Pollard. He's got Puka, Rice, Godwin, Burden. He's got Njoku, Kelsey, no depth at skill positions.
Yeah. Start 10. Lineup right? You don't need a whole lot of depth. You're still going to need some depth. You got depth where it matters at the quarterback position still.
And
so
you also, I think this is actually one of the things that's under talked about as well is 4 first to me is depth because it's as liquid as it gets, buddy.
3 seconds become depth too when you're 100%. Talking about competing and buying running backs.
You have 7 legit assets that can go buy multiple pieces on their own if you needed it to.
I think at this point, I usually like to wait right up until the season, but we are still kind of in this vets are kind of undervalued.
Sure.
I'm shopping for it in one more elite wide receiver right now, and kind of.
I was just going to say the receiver. I'm okay, honestly, running with Genty and Pollard, and just honestly, Caleb will probably end up being a flex for me early. You just don't have to see you can wait week 1 to see what happens. Yeah. But I don't want to right now with what's going on. I think Rice is going to end up playing, but with Rashee and Godwin, with what they have going on in Burden and the ambiguous receiver room, I think that's the position that I'm looking to go ahead and, if I'm going to spend some of my liquidity, let's go ahead and lock up another more surefire option here now. Everything else, I'm fine to wait, honestly.
And it's going to sound crazy too, but I'm also taking like a Drake May, seeing if I got to attach a first or two. Can I get to Lamar?
I was going to say, Mike, what I would love to do is, in this scenario, you and I think talk about this a lot, but maybe not enough. The way to play it here, in my opinion, when you're in this good of a spot, don't start trying to push these quarterback options to the point where it feels like you're giving up your leverage. Like, I'm still wanting to see if they'll come to me a little bit more, especially as the season starts going. But Mike, the great part is you have picks and quarterbacks that are ready to go at any point in any given time.
Yep.
As far as the 26 picks, I was just going to say this too, to that specific point. Mike, these teams that he says 2 first are coming from subpar teams. If I'm moving those, you're giving me a receiver that I promise you we don't even need to talk about because it's not happening. Like they're not giving me a receiver for those picks. They're not coming off my team right now.
Better be a really fucking good one. Good spot though, Simon.
Top 20 receivers, honestly. Like, I'm not even shitting around here.
So back to having 4 first and 26 and all these seconds, right? Yeah. Makhi Hughes.
Bam.
So Makhi now goes from Tulane. He stays kind of green, right?
Yeah.
Goes to Oregon.
I know. If I was gonna do a jersey swap, but I'm like, that's just way too much. Let's just leave it in Tulane.
You're good, man. But it's the same Oregon squad that like made Jordan James relevant, and I didn't think Jordan James was worth a shit. I think Makhi Hughes is 10 times better. So.
I would imagine, as much as I like to talk shit about the Ducks and how bad we absolutely killed some Ducks, that offensive line's got to be putting Tulane's to shame. I mean,
I would imagine it will, and he's going to be front and center now. So Makhi Hughes is a guy to keep an eye on. Not saying he's like in my first round of 2026, but it's going to be interesting when you see these smaller school guys or guys that didn't get a lot of run now in this era of NIL and transfer portal now going to big time programs and getting a lot more exposure. Kind of similar to Cam Ward last year going from Washington State, to Miami.
After he started Incarnate Word too, right?
Yeah. You start to make that transition to these bigger programs. You can see this draft stock just fucking soar through the moon. So Makhi Hughes is kind of an interesting one because the production has been there his entire career.
I mean, his first 2 years are 1,000 yards at ease. I mean, we're there early. But what's interesting about him too is I think it wasn't like he was a terrible prospect or not known about. He was a 3-star. So he goes to Tulane, does his thing, and now as a transfer, I don't think he was a 5-star, but a 4-star. So you're talking like. In the portal, he probably had close to his pick of the litter, which is why he goes to Oregon, where he doesn't see much comp, and he can have a chance to be the guy.
And I thought when the transfer portal hit, especially this year, if we're looking at prospects for 26, he was the best running back in that transfer portal. Like
I would say easily, personally. Like I really like his game though, so maybe I'm.
Like it never happened. But if this kid would have transferred to Iowa. Like to be the Caleb Johnson
to come be the Caleb 2.0, but better.
Dude, I would have bought a Makhi Hughes Iowa jersey immediately. Like, get the custom one too. That costs like $200 just to make sure you get it right.
Speaking of custom, you probably have about 112 different variants of the Oregon one to try to buy if you're into that type of thing.
Those poor boys.
Let me ask you this: are you ready to pivot to receiver?
One more. I just want to touch on
Okay.
running backs. The rest of the class too. We talked a little bit about transfers. DB's in the chat too, so he brought it up. Jay Knott was fantastic at Cal 2 years ago. Last year, a little bit of an injury issue. This year, transfers to Oregon. Now going to be Oklahoma. Transfers to Oklahoma.
Yep.
So he's going to be front and center there. Justice Haynes leaving Alabama for Michigan to this like run heavy offense. I mean, he'll have a chance to really boost up his stock as being the lead guy there. And then another Big Ten guy, Darius Taylor, banged up quite a bit last year. We didn't get to see him. But you want to talk about a true freshman year, Darius Taylor really broke onto the fucking scene. So if he can bounce back from the injuries and get back to freshman year Darius Taylor, that guy was a fucking problem. A big problem.
Listen, this is one I think we should talk about just because a lot of people want to, right or wrong, talk about the player. And I decided, that we're going to just go ahead and make it. This guy has as much production as basically Mike or I does. But CJ Baxter, man, talk to the reasons you didn't want him to have a hologram.
Well, I didn't have reasons that I don't want him to have a hologram. It's just this Texas situation with running backs outside post-Bijan era has just been
it's kind of not
cluster
fun, huh? Not fun, yeah.
CJ Baxter, he had a great moments in his freshman year, and you could see the talent, and you're like, oh my God, he's everything that was hyped up. And man, they go from Bijan to CJ Baxter. This is going to be fucking awesome. And he kind of got overshadowed by Jonathan Brooks 2 years ago. He had his moments though, so you're like, okay, now Brooks is gone. It's going to be CJ Baxter's fucking time to shine. And then he tears his ACL. So you go, fuck. All right, no CJ Baxter.
And now you're left with this.
You're left with this clusterfuck of like him coming off an injury plus what Wisner did last year. And I don't think Wisner's that good, but they seem to fucking love him and trust him and put him on the field. So I think CJ Baxter is just going to get lost in the shuffle, right? Like
I'm interested. I will say this: I'm intrigued to see if he actually is able to separate himself from the pack or not. Because you talk about Jaden Blue being talented. Like CJ Baxter, correct me if I'm wrong, was like about as hyped as you get coming out of high school.
Yeah.
The him. So obviously unfortunate with the injury, but I think I'm just curious to see if the talent, if he can actually separate himself from the pack in this. I guess what you're right, clusterfuck. A lot of times of the way they use the running backs, can he actually separate himself coming off this injury? Because hella talented, I think, right?
Yep, but it also just kind of feels like one of those guys that gets lost in the shuffle all the time. Where in the Devy world or C2C world, coming in as a freshman, we're like, this guy's can't fucking miss, and then an injury happens or something happens academically or whatever it is.
Yeah,
like John Emery. Remember how John Emery was through the fucking moon, and his entire college career has just been like, wait, that guy's still eligible to play football? I thought I didn't even know he was still fucking around. So, like some of these running backs, man, they just fizzle out, and you never fucking hear from them again. So,
sure,
I don't know. It just kind of feels like another one. It just feels like another one. I hope not, because I like the kid coming out, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think big year for the kid. Hopefully, he can stay healthy.
Yep.
Listen, let's talk receivers. All right, you ready? Ready or not? Here we come.
Man.
How about
we got some interesting ones.
I'm excited about hearing you talk about Denzel Boston. What do you think, buddy?
Dude, Denzel Boston. Okay, this isn't a ceiling comp or whatever, but you want to talk about movement skills and like kind of what he reminds me of. Listen, we'll stay in Washington. Now, granted, last year wasn't great for him in the NFL, but your boy Rome Odunze.
Yeah.
Bigger wide receiver. He's 6'4", probably 210.
Yeah, I was going to say 6'4" for sure. He's a
very
tall
fluid route
water.
runner.
Yep.
Very fluid route runner. I've also seen some comps kind of thrown around, like shades of Tet McMillan. A lot of people love Tet, coming out, right?
Yep.
The production, obviously, Tet was like a one-man show there when he was a freshman and a sophomore, like all him.
Yep.
Denzel Boston had some competition, but last year we kind of broke onto the scene. You're like, oh my God, after Polk moved on, after Odunze moved on, after Jeremy Bernard transferred to Alabama.
A lot of vacated targets.
It was like, oh my God, this Denzel, no wonder. Like, where you been at all my life?
Yeah.
Very, very fluid mover, bigger wide receiver too. So he doesn't really fit that that mold that you and I always fall in love with like the 5'11", 190 guys.
Yeah, the Jaden Reed.
The Jaden Reeds, the Deontay Johnsons of the world.
Hey Rob, I see your question. I've got it. Start again. As soon as we're done with the holograms, we're going to get into questions. So I got you, buddy. All right.
He's got very good contested catch ability, but he's also a pretty damn good separator in his own right, especially for being that big. So Denzel Boston is one to watch. I think a lot of people got an early back end first round grade on him right now. Mm-hmm. At worst case scenario, you're probably looking at like a second round wide receiver, in the line, the mold of like Jaden Higgins, something like that. So that's a guy you need to keep an eye on because we're going to be probably taking him in back-end first rounds of our rookie drafts next year or early second round. So Denzel Boston, man. He doesn't get a lot of love, post-Washington national championship run, especially being out on the West Coast. I get it.
Yeah.
We had the conference realignment. Still, welcome to the Big Ten. Nobody gives a shit about you still at this point.
Well, speaking of welcome, how about changing from Georgia Tech to Auburn? We have another Singleton, right?
Another Singleton. Now, you want to talk about fucking speed for days? Verified fucking track star here.
Speed kills.
And the speed translates to the field. Go look at his deep balls over the last couple of years at Georgia Tech too, which is a program not a lot of
deep
people.
Balls, and Dynasty Barry says Boston's not blowing up his skirt in the database. So I love this here.
Not yet. He's only had 1 year, DB. I know how you love the fucking freshman.
Patience, my friend.
Yeah,
patience,
you gotta have patience. All right, he's got this year to prove it to you. All right,
Yep.
He'll blow it up this year for you. But Singleton, Eric Singleton, now going from Georgia Tech, which nobody really pays attention to. Because we always still to this day.
Why? It's so long ago, but you're not wrong.
Still to this day for Georgia Tech, I still think triple option. I still think fucking triple option.
Like back when Calvin was freaking playing in college. Amazing.
Calvin didn't even play in the triple option. He just got lumped into it. They went to the triple option after Calvin Johnson, and Demarius Thomas is the one who played in the triple option.
Yeah, well, R.I.P. too, damn.
R.I.P. to the legend. But Eric Singleton now going to Auburn. Going to be front and center in the SEC. A pretty decent Auburn team, but this guy can fucking fly. Well, he can fly.
The crazy part about him, to me, is just I think if you look at his raw numbers, you may not be that impressed, but the averages, man, he's averaging like 15 yards a reception. I mean,
yeah. And
the reason is because any given one, he could be bye-bye.
Best wide receiver in the transfer portal this cycle.
Sure.
Big get for Auburn. He's going to be a highly, highly interesting one. And then we want to talk about.
He was easily the best receiver, and I think he was close to the best player of all the portal options. Honestly.
You want to talk about when we get to combine time? We're going to be on high alert for what does Eric Singleton run in the 40s? What does he run out there? Right?
Hopefully he does a good job of just keeping his mouth shut and letting his time do the talking for him.
Don't Isaiah Bond this shit. All right?
Exactly.
Just come out Xavier Worthy this shit. Right? Just don't tell anybody.
Well,
just go out and go. I got this.
To me, Singleton is a one of these players that the way the dynasty community is and the way that this is a player you're just going to want to have. You're just going to want to have him on your teams. Now,
Henry Ruggs, if he knew how to catch fluidly and didn't look so terrible at it as a prospect coming out, right? He's a hands catcher, not a body catcher.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he's got that Henry Ruggs. Get the fucking ball to him and watch him do his thing.
Yeah,
he will run past you.
He down in Georgia where there's a lot of fast people. Was just a true track star too. So extremely fast, also extremely young. He's 19 as well. So. Guy you could be looking at coming into the league at 20 next year. Mike, the embarrassment of riches isn't quite the same for pivoting to the Buckeyes, but we will talk Carnell Tate.
Hey, you want to talk about another bigger wide receiver that moves very, very fluidly, right? The way he goes out and runs routes and operates, you go, oh my God, that's like he looks like a Buka on the other side, kind of the way he moves. And then you see the size difference between the two when they stand next to each other and you go, oh, this is a big dude. Now, again, another Ohio State wide receiver that just seems to have to fucking wait his turn, or when his turn is going to come up like a Mecca Buka, it's like, man, motherfucking Jeremiah Smith's got to come out of here. But talk about an embarrassment of riches for your Ohio State
Well,
Buckeyes.
those
You guys got
for the record,
fantastic duo.
Tate, Smith, Igbuka, they're all 5-star. They're 5 stars, Mike. Like, I don't know. You may not know. There is very few number of 5 stars on a yearly basis. It's just craziness.
He is, for being 6'3" and 200 pounds, probably 205. He is a fantastic route runner. So he gets in one of these offenses in the NFL that's like timing based and really utilizes that skill.
Yep.
I mean, fuck it. I mean, while we're doing high end comps here, Adam, shades
let's do it. Yes, come on.
We'll stick to another Ohio State guy.
You always got to give the high end comp to the Ohio State guys. Come on.
There we go. Michael Thomas.
Ooh, I like it. Not Pat Bryant, which was being kind of pushed to the extremes here. Okay.
Yeah.
How about Carnell Tate? All right.
How about Carnell Tate? I like Carnell Tate a lot.
6'2", 6'3". I mean, he's, I don't know, for sure 190, maybe 200 pounds. He's really. I think this year is one of those you could see him flourish with the opportunity he's going to have in front of him this year. You know.
Right. And I think Julian Sain's a much better quarterback than Will Howard was for him too. So.
And that's not saying much.
It's not saying much. Right now, I got Carnell Tate. It might be high for some people, but I think he's wide receiver 2 in the class for me right now.
No, I'm exactly with you. Now, where do you have the last receiver that we're going to have is with a Holly? Do ya?
Number 1. Jordyn fucking Tyson, and I am in love with Jordyn Tyson.
I knew you were, but I didn't think you were. I didn't know you were going to go here. Let's talk about it. Go ahead.
I went to fucking Adam almost immediately after we watched Cam Scatterbo tape, because as much as C2C and pay attention to college football, I had no idea who the fuck Jordyn Tyson was. So shout out to my boy Xbox for this one. He pointed him out. And then we're supposed to be watching Cam Scatterbo tape, but I couldn't help but fuck watch Jordyn Tyson.
We were.
Play.
It just turned into Jordyn Tyson tape,
Jordyn Tyson show, man. I love fucking Jordyn Tyson too, and especially if you want to look at, and this was one of the knocks of that fucking YouTube guy who was like trying to argue with me. No wide receivers in this class have good.
Are you calling somebody else a YouTube guy? I actually kind of like that.
Yeah, fuck that guy. Jordyn Tyson, after about like week 4 last year. The switch just got flipped.
Dude, electricity.
And he was fucking phenomenal. And you want to talk analytical profile? He was number 2 out of the Power 4 wide receivers last year in yards per route run, which people just go like fucking ballistic for. That's one of the greatest analytical stats for wide receivers. Greatest predictor of future success. He was fucking phenomenal. Last 6 games, I think he was well over 4, which is a fucking ridiculous number. Jordyn Tyson is that guy, man. Wide receiver 1 for me.
He's not. He's legit.
He continues what you saw at the end of last year, the second half of last year. Holy fuck, man. Jordyn Tyson is that dude. And we put that film on. He is open at ease. He is such an arrogant hands catcher. He's just so fluid with it. He does everything that you want. And then for a guy that's only 5'11", 6 foot maybe. I know he's listed at 6'1", but he kind of feels like a 5'11", 6 foot kind of guy. He goes out, contested catches, like when he has to on a bad ball, like not his fault, not his fucking fault. Like we think contested catch and we get contested. No, I'm saying like when the quarterback threw a bad ball to him or whatever, he was under duress, so he underthrew it or whatever it may be. He's got to go make a tough contested catch and kind of help his quarterback out. Fucking phenomenal at it, man. You're like, this is a dude who's like 6'6". The way he goes up and just mosses motherfuckers and snatches
you like
out of
to
the
hear
air.
that he plays bigger than he is, right? Definitely. I will say we don't have on here. I'm trying to blank the kid's name. Is it Antonio Williams, right?
Yeah, Antonio Williams, route running savant, just produces every single year as long as he's healthy for Clemson. Another interesting one. We'll see what happens. When the guy came on the scene 2 years ago, especially early in the year, everybody was throwing Reggie Bush, comps out, and he's that dynamic and electric. Zachariah Branch transfers to Georgia now.
What? Yeah. I mean, it's not gone as expected, and certainly remember how crazy the career started, and it's like,
yep.
How did we get here?
Yep. I talked a little bit about Nick Harbor, right? He's going to be a size speed freak. We'll see if he can actually like be a wide receiver and put up the production this year. But, you know, if that's a guy who, let's just hypothetically say with LaNorris Sellers, Nick Harbor comes out and he has 1,100 yards and 10 touchdowns and declares for the draft.
That's like, one hell of a hypothetical. We're talking a little bit of a bullishness happening all of a sudden.
I know it's a long shot to go from almost doing nothing to like hitting that mark. But if he did it in his junior year and then declared for the draft and you go to the combine and you're looking at a guy that's measuring 6'5" and 230 pounds is going to run, he's going to push like sub 4.3 when he runs.
I mean, he has that. And honestly, this is kind of interesting thinking back, but like
DK Metcalf, anyone?
Well, I mean, yeah, Brian Thomas Jr. with the size speed freak too. Like, I mean, yeah, of course, these are all good people. DK, you can say what you want by this point, but people were wide receiver 1 overall in DK Metcalf at a point in his career.
Yes.
Right, so
yeah, another one that's going to get lost. We want to talk about transfer. Played at NC State. Now goes to an SEC team in Texas A&M. Kevin Concepcion, slot god, and he's fantastic with the ball in his hands. Like he just racks up run after the catch all over the place. So we'll get to see him at a much bigger program, a little bit more high profile. Eugene Wilson at Florida had an injury laden year last year. His freshman year, again, kind of like Concepcion, like really great underneath, good slot guy, same kind of build. And then a dark horse. I've loved this kid for a while. He didn't really do shit last year, and I thought he would, following his head coach from Washington to Alabama, but Jeremy Bernard, another guy that he needs to learn how to play wide receiver a little bit better. Right?
Yeah. Mike, I mean, here's the thing. We haven't even gotten to the point of the show aside from what we started with, the creme de la creme, and what Mike. I mean the quarterbacks here that we're gonna get ready to get into that aren't Sellers. I definitely have Sellers in his own tier in this class period, but I prefer him to the bunch. But there's a lot of good quarterbacks in this class. Let's start with a little bit more of your guy or I think a lot of times lower on the totem pole. It shouldn't be. Let's talk it out, buddy. You know, maybe if he pops up, there he is.
Maybe. Listen, again, we put on the fucking tape to watch Cam Scatterbo, and I come away watching Jordan Tyson and Sam Leavitt,
and maybe the guy throwing him the football. You know.
Yeah, Sam Leavitt is very fucking impressive. I love the makeup of the kid, the moxie. Yeah. He does not want to go down. He runs the football, you know, at a clip that you're like, holy shit. You kind of want to talk. We've been doing these ceiling comps or whatever.
Sure.
He's got a little bit of that Baker Mayfield to him, right?
Ooh, okay.
That moxie, that arrogance. I think he's more athletic than Baker, even though Baker wants to run. You know, you see Baker, he kind of runs like he's got to take a shit sometimes.
For sure.
He looks like his butt cheeks are clenched. He's holding in a turd, but
it just doesn't look the greatest when he's running anywhere, you know.
Leavitt was pretty highly impressive, and this is one of the kids Koopa 2 years ago in a C2C league was drafting, and I was like, who gives a shit? You know, like I don't give a fuck about Sam Leavitt. Like, why the fuck's he up here? We put the tape on for him last year, and I was like, man, if Sam Leavitt on this tape, watching him play, I think I told Johnny this. I said if he had like been eligible and declared for this draft, like this is a first round quarterback, he'd be QB2 in this class, last year's class. So I like Leavitt a lot. I'm pretty excited to see if he improves just a little bit, because he did have some moments, right? But it's his first year starting, so we want to talk about that whole experience thing.
Sure.
His first true year starting. If he can continue to progress and doesn't have that second year starting regression that sometimes we see, Sam Leavitt for NFL teams, he's going to be in conversation as QB1 in the class. And he's kind of starting from a place for a lot of people where they're like, who the fuck is this guy?
Who the fuck is that guy? How about this guy?
What a rebound for this fucking guy, right? 2 years ago, it was like, fuck this dude, right? Like we were sold a bill of goods on Cade Klubnik that we went, no. And then last year just goes out and fucking dominates. And I didn't want to acknowledge it for the longest time. I still think he was like poopy at times, but towards the end of the year, it was like, man, I can't deny what Klubnik's doing, just throwing touchdown passes left and right. And then if you remember, he had that fucking ridiculously long touchdown run to like seal a game there towards the end of the season. Like, and you were like,
I was at the game.
Holy shit!
I was at the game.
You were at the game, the pit game, wasn't it?
The pit game, yeah.
The pit game, yeah.
Listen, they had kept him in check for a while, and they were without their quarterback who was out for concussion again. You thought the game was over, and give him credit. One, they had not showed him running much at all. Man, they saw that man-to-man coverage. He took off like he wasn't Sellers, but like he had to sell it, and gone. Not going to be his calling card, but yeah, it was a crazy play, dude.
The way he kind of improved, and then towards the end of the year when I actually got to sit down and watch him a little bit more, and like, damn, I let freshman year just like fucking tarnish everything. Right?
Yeah,
I said, holy shit, okay, I'm done with you forever. Last year was like night and day, but for him, I'm going to go with like Bo Nix-ish. Like good Bo Nix, good NFL Bo Nix, not Auburn Bo Nix. How about
I like that? Okay. I can get behind that. All right. Do we have, listen, especially with what's going on with the other Texas quarterback, where are you at with Arch at this point? Let's just have this conversation.
So listen, a lot of people will lead off with Arch is a 26-101. Here's the biggest problem. I don't know, and I don't think he comes out in 2026. Now, a lot of people will say he definitely ain't coming out. I'm also not going to that, because if Arch goes out and wins the fucking Heisman, and is competing for a national championship or wins a national championship, I don't give a shit that he's a Manning and the family has money and, his uncles are rich and have already made the career and they didn't come out early and, his grandpa didn't come. Like, I don't, fuck that.
All them
okay, I don't get.
Yeah, sure.
If he goes out, has a great fucking year, and he's everything that the NFL scouts want, and they tell him, dude, you're the 101. Like, he knows he's the NFL 101. He's fucking coming out. I don't give a shit how much you say he likes college. He's not going to forego an NFL career as the 101 pick just to go back to Texas for one more fucking year.
You imagine if with where Quinn Ewers' career went and where he didn't go in the draft, if Arch comes out and just tears it up.
Right. Oh my God.
You imagine all that money in Texas, they're going to be pissed.
Which is going to add to the narrative too that I don't understand why the fuck for 2 years Quinn Ewers is still starting over this fucking guy.
Buddy.
For 2 years now we've done film sessions.
He came in basically as a high school
wide
kid,
receivers.
and Ohio State was getting ready to roll out the red carpet for him. He hated it so bad, and they're begging him to stay. Like, I don't know, the Quinn Ewers thing has been interesting all along.
Yeah, they've had kid gloves on with this guy for a while, and even when Ewers went down and Arch came in and fucking lit it up against much lesser competition. Granted, he fucking destroyed a team that didn't really matter. But you're like, maybe, and then you were struggling coming back from that injury. They still didn't give Arch the run. There's a little bit of concern there, just a little bit. But listen, he's been hyped up forever. He's everything that you want from the NFL, like prospect wise.
Sure.
Like, he's got the build, he's got the athleticism. We want to talk about like play style, like ceiling comp for him. Like, think of the Trevor Lawrence trajectory without the starting freshman year and winning a national championship, right? Like, but he's that size. He's got that arm. He's that dynamic as an athlete. I just don't know, man. So, like, to put him in here, there's a possibility he's in the 26 class. He feels more likely to be in the 27 class, but
sure,
I'm not going to say one way or another, like he definitely ain't going to be in it or he definitely is, right? I think it's way too early to say. We don't know how this season's going to play out for him.
No, he's not.
A different Manning.
Yeah, those Manning brothers, there's no relation.
Not the same Manning brothers, not the same family.
Nope. No, he was not the chosen one. So, okay, right now, down to two. Let's go ahead and let's keep it in the it's so weird saying they're in the SEC, Texas. Let's keep it in the SEC. See what you.
There you go.
I'm kind of curious where you're at here.
I don't like this guy.
I had my I got a hunch, and I know Mike's types at this point.
A lot of people are hyping him up for last year's class. Like could be there. Every time that I've seen him or watched him play, it's making a boneheaded decision, throwing a terrible pick. He's 6'2", but he's skinny, man. Like he just doesn't have a great frame on him. I don't understand where the excitement for Nussmeier comes from. Like he's just not. I'm open to it though. Like I didn't like the Jackson Dart thing. I didn't like Bo Nix. I get it. Like my opinion can change on him depending on what the NFL does. If I'm doing like an early look ahead, like we're doing right now, like I'm not the biggest Garrett Nussmeier fan. I don't see it. I don't see it, but I've been wrong, and I will change my tune if the NFL says differently. But as of right now, he's just not one of my like.
Let me ask you: do you give some credit to do you think there's a chance he actually goes round 1?
I think so. There's enough NFL guys talking about it. It's not just the Devy community or like the randos on Twitter hyping him up. I'm trying to keep an open mind when it comes to him. I don't know. Maybe it's the name, maybe it's the build, maybe it's every time I'm just unlucky, and every time that I put tape on for him or watch him play in an actual game,
you think you just watched all of his worst games?
I think I maybe just seen all the dog shit. Right? This is the next Brock Purdy for me. For whatever reason, I just don't fucking like the guy.
Oh no! Honestly, that is intriguing in and of itself because it's like the one person. It's like the one quarterback that Mike didn't, kind of sing kumbaya with, and for a lot of different reasons, which we all know. And somehow that's the guy that really threaded the needle as the last pick overall. Mike, I'll be honest with you. I'm working on trying to, for some reason, the Drew Allar is taking a while to load, and I'm not trying to crash us. And here's the thing.
Well, that's all right. Before we get to Allar, I'll give you some other names to watch.
He's just from down the street in Medina, and he cost Penn State the game. Go ahead.
Nico, right? We know what Nico was supposed to be the chosen one last year's first year starting. Sure. He didn't have a bad year. It just, for what Tennessee put into NIL for this kid, and then everything that he demanded and all the kind of like money problems we had, he's going to get a much worse rap. But listen, I still saw things last year where the Justin Herbert label that he got like fits, right? That tall, athletic, 6'6", big fucking kid who can throw the ball. Tennessee's offense is always kind of a little bit gimmicky too. Like it's just a little bit out there, so it's tough to judge.
Sure.
I guess the good thing about him leaving Tennessee in this whole thing is now you get to see him in UCLA, much different system, and we'll see if he can develop and take another step. But the talent is there for him. It's just a matter, can he put it together and can he actually produce? So that's a guy who could work his way back into first round conversation, even with all the money off the field stuff, because the NFL ain't going to give a shit if he goes out and he lights it up and they're like, this is going to be our franchise guy. Like he is that talented to do it. Got another one here for you. Last year he was QB1 for a lot of people going into it. The year didn't go as great as we thought it was going to go for him. Kind of regressed a little bit. Then he got hurt. But now gets an opportunity, in the system that just made this last year's 101 pick. Carson Beck's got a chance to redeem himself down in Miami. So again, another kid, he's got a terrible face. He looks like the next New York Giant quarterback with just a dumb face.
He's got, for starters, he has a bad face.
Yeah. So Carson Beck's got a chance to redeem himself. And then another dark horse surprise that I really like.
I just wanted to say this quickly because the amount of time he's played, Mike and I, on our first podcast we ever did, were talking a little Carson Beck, to give you, crazy.
We were. And another kid that I like, he's just a dark horse, though, for a lot of people, but has an opportunity now at a much bigger program, also kind of like Cam Ward.
Uh-oh.
Left Washington State, John Mateer.
Who?
John Mateer.
Yeah, okay.
Going to go play at Oklahoma, right? They had the whole Jackson Darnold experience last year.
Sooners.
Didn't go that great. They went to Hawkins. That went well for a little bit and then went terrible. Mateer, when we put on film to watch Kyle Williams, I really like Mateer. Kyle Williams was fantastic in the film, by the way. But
Kyle Williams, I'm excited. That's all I'll say.
John Mateer is fucking fearless, and he runs the football a lot. He ran it a fuck ton at Washington, but he's got a very good arm, kind of like Leavitt. I would say he is a much better runner than Leavitt, in my opinion. And they used him and abused him. Like the film we put on, it felt like Mateer had like 40 carries in a fucking game.
Well, I don't know. One of the crazy things is you don't know how the stats play in college, how it's different. But I mean, he ran for, I think, like 700-800. Like he ran for an insane. I got to pull it up. He ran for an insane amount of yards, dude. Hold on, let me see if I can find it.
And I had no idea until we watched Kyle Williams tape who the fuck John Mateer was, and I walked away from
826 rushing yards. When there's a stats that can count negatively to that for you.
Yeah, if he continues his development from literally, for me, I had no idea who the fuck he was, to watching it going like, who the fuck is this guy, right? Like, and having to ask around and look him up, and you know, I'm like, this guy's actually pretty fucking impressive. To now going to Oklahoma, if he continues that trajectory, John Mateer is going to be on a lot of NFL teams' radars as a potential first-round pick next year.
Well,
so
you were talking portal, and I think Singleton, right? And I'm just looking, at least per 24/7, they were neck and neck as far as the overall portal rankings, which is crazy.
Damn.
Yeah,
Damn.
I would not have had that on my bingo card at all.
I know Connor Wegman got a lot of hype last year. I kind of like Nussmeier.
Let me take this guy down because we're just not talking about him. So
I get him. I'll get him. Okay, I don't really like Connor Wegman. Listen, I think it's probably too early to say Dante Moore's coming out. Again, had a pretty good freshman year at UCLA, transfers to Oregon last year, sits behind Dylan Gabriel. Now it's his time to see what he can do in that Oregon offense. Aiden Childs, I've always kind of liked, right? Another big kid. He absolutely fucking killed Iowa, absolutely nuked Iowa, right? So that's usually a good sign for your draft stock, because when you get drafted in the first round, they like to play all the highlights of you beating the shit out of Iowa, it feels like.
I mean, it's one of those things. I feel like people in general, there's a bandwagon for that. You know, people like that,
right? And as a college player, I really like Jalen Daniels. He's got like that Bryce Young build. He is dynamic as fuck for Kansas, and that team is so much better when he is healthy. I love Jalen Daniels, but he kind of feels like one of those guys that's going to be like college, and if he gets to the NFL, it's going to be like, surprise third round pick Jalen Daniels is. You know, he beat out whoever the fuck it is and is going to start some games or whatever it is. But just a couple guys to keep an eye on. All right, now put Drew Allar back up.
Okay.
Barry's guy. Barry loves Drew Allar. And I'll say this. Drew Allar from the last 2 years has been very underwhelming. And part of it is Drew Allar. Part of it is Penn State is usually a fraud in the passing game, and they did not give this guy any kind of help. They were fucking scared. They wouldn't let him throw the ball down the field. They shifted a little bit last year, and especially towards the end of last year. Now, he had one terrible fucking game against Notre Dame, which
I felt so bad for the way that finished, too. Oh, makes you sick.
He was disgustingly awful against Notre Dame. For the rest of the season, though, Drew Allar started to really fucking progress into this. Oh, my God. Okay. There's some rumors about him potentially coming out and being a first-round pick last year. I think if he can continue that, Adam.
There's so much hype on this kid, honestly.
There is.
I'm looking right now, and there's people still, at the moment, this is very recent, are trying to still give him Josh Allen comps, which, like, I'm not saying me personally. I'm just saying there's still that type of hype around the player.
He's not that athletic. He
I'm
can
not
move a little
advocating
bit.
that he is. I'm just saying that the fact that he still at this moment is getting that type of hype from national attention, just to me, is wild. That people really like this kid.
He's a young Ben Roethlisberger to me.
There you go.
Like
Ooh,
that.
That's tough in this. That's tough in this day and age where everybody runs. You know.
Well, young Ben. He
was a scrambler. You couldn't bring him down.
He was a scrambler. Yep. Yeah. Old Ben. You know. Ben was geriatric.
True statue. Yeah.
He wasn't doing shit. Like he wasn't doing shit. But young Ben, early Ben would scramble
Bro, you couldn't get him down with one.
And I think that's more like what Drew Allar is right now. But he's got an arm; he can throw the ball deep.
I'm with you. He's not. He doesn't have the athletic upside. I don't think of Josh Allen. I'm with you on that for the record.
No, not even the same fucking realm. But he is a big kid, and if they continue to progress and continue to let him throw the ball down the field, this could be a guy who's a top 10 pick at the NFL for the NFL at the quarterback position.
Honestly, because if the way that game ended was just so horrible. I mean, if it doesn't end that way, who knows? Singleton might be in this class. Honestly,
could be. They got a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. All those boys coming back and see if Penn State can actually do something coming up. Right.
I'm with you. All right. Well, here we'll get back to Neo Sellers before we head out of here. You know, this is Neo. Man. This is the one. This is the chosen one. Like if it hits, like you talk about all those players, if they hit even 80%, 90%, it's gonna be trouble for Dynasty. This is a rare find, man. Rare find.
You say all that like to put a bow on this, right? The reason I'm higher on 26 than 25 is just all the quarterbacks that we ran down. I don't really like Nussmeier. Nico's got issues. Arch, we don't even know if it's going to be out. This kid right here has the potential to be the 101 in fucking Dynasty, right? So that's a great place to start. Klubnik, Allar, the dark horses in Mateer, Taylor Green. Like, there's potential first-round picks. I mean, I'm not saying it's as good as the quarterback class was 2 years ago.
Yeah, but, I mean, there's talks that it could be in that 5 or 6 range in the first round still. It could happen.
But, Adam, if we get 3, if we get 4 in the first round.
I think 3 for sure will happen. Now, to your point, how high after that, I don't know.
And then you get 1 or 2 of those running backs as early second-round picks. You know, right. Maybe one of them's a first-round selection. I doubt it. They're not on the same talent spectrum as, you know, Genty is. More Amari and Hampton than Genty. But you could see maybe one of them sneaking in the first round.
Sure.
And the wide receivers, while not as analytically exciting as Ted McMillan, this last wide receiver class was poop for the most part. I mean, Abuka, Matthew Golden.
But what's exciting is
Tyson, Carnell, Tate are just as fucking good as those guys.
They're solid receivers. Singleton. But the quarterbacks, I think, will push them down too. So
Kevin Concepcion, you know, like one of the last guys we talked about, his analytical profile is very good. What if he's a sneaky first round pick? You know, Denzel Boston. Yeah. The only position that I look at and I go, definitely worse than 25, tight ends.
Well, yeah, we probably wouldn't have talked about him if there was a good one, but we definitely weren't going to talk about it from
no one gives a shit.
Yeah.
There's like 2 that I'm like mildly interested in, but the tight end position doesn't really matter. What makes up a fucking dynasty class and what makes it deep starts and ends at the quarterbacks and how many you get in the first round. And then it goes to the wide receivers and then the running backs. The running backs are the icing on the cakes.
That's what honestly will, I think, maybe at a certain point will become so much more appreciated. The reason 24 will always be goated is not just because the quarterbacks you were quarterback and wide receiver embarrassment of riches. That class is not to be replicated again. Speaking of which, it's time to get to y'all's questions. And sorry, LaNorris, it's time to get us up out of here, man. You know?
I love you, LaNorris.
Oh no, not again.
Back out of the portal.
We're going out of the portal. Oh no. Okay.
Yeah, I do feel like it's Terminator. That's that same fucking ball they used in the Terminator send people back.
It was kind of getting weird, you know? Like, I don't know if I like it. But, hey, you know what we should do, Mike?
Switch
before we get to questions? I think we should, can we give Fizz a little, can we get a little fizzle?
Yeah, hit that baby, man. Then we'll bang out some questions and bounce out of here.
Let's ride.
Welcome to South Harmon. Welcome to South Harmon. Hey, welcome to South Harmon. We glad you here today. Another AMA. Ask me anything. Super chat is cool if you wanna pay to play. Like and subscribe, that's what we really appreciate. Let me introduce you to the tear down king. Mike McNutted, ask your questions, he'll answer anything. ATM, you know I don't put them graphics on the screen. Glad you tapped in now, stay tapped in for the team. Hey, everything is posted. Go follow the socials. South Harmon FF tag us if we get noticed. Welcome to South Harmon, we glad you here today. Welcome to South Harmon, we glad you here today. Another AMA. Welcome to South Harmon, we glad you here today.
Oh, we're down in the trade show? Not quite.
We really did hit the portal.
Holy crap! Now we're back in the portal. Everything's a mess.
I don't even know what's
All
going
a
on.
mess. Sellers is back. We're having a tough time here, but we're back.
That's all right. Yeah, okay. We're good now. All right. What we got for questions? Let's bang these out.
Let's do it. Well, we got here. How about I start with this? It's just right in front of my face, and I feel like, Mike, what do you think of Dowdle from Nebraska?
Okay. It's Nebraska though, so I
was gonna say you hillbillies, you either knew what you were doing or you're gonna get hip to this party pretty quick. Mike has his colleges that he just can't get behind, and
yeah,
he where he gets behind Nebraska is
still waiting
specifically
for that.
one way. You know,
I'm still waiting for that Eric Gilbert breakout. You know.
Oh goodness,
there's a blast from the past from the name.
Welcome to South Harmon. We're glad you here today. How good is Sellers, Crispy? I mean, there's 1 year of his track record, but the thing about it is his upside can't be understated, and he was really good in the season he played. Honestly, in my opinion,
fantastic. I mean, he took South Carolina and almost had him in the playoff.
The Gamecocks,
the Cocks.
That shit just don't happen.
I love him. I love him to death, man.
Yep,
super excited.
He's also incredibly fun to watch, personally for me.
Last year, college football was the first year the college football game had been out since fucking forever, right?
Yeah,
and how
right.
excited I was for it. You know what the first Dynasty team I fired up was?
Was it actually?
It was.
Okay.
My very first, not Iowa Hawkeyes. I didn't go as a homer pick because Cade McNamara sucks. I wanted to play with the fucking South Carolina Gamecocks. I wanted to play with the LaNorris Sellers and Rocket Sanders and Nick Harbor. And goddamn, was that fun.
Well, actually, it's kind of that's where my buddy Steve lives, and that's where his wedding was when I got to meet the big guy Eric Armstead. That's a fun town, dude. Honestly, it's a great college town. Pretty cool. All right, so we got Bert's McGee. Would you in a start 11 lineup, 12-team Superflex, Mike, give Addison, DJ Moore a 27 first, second to get Malik?
Ooh, that is pricey.
I mean, I think it's definitely volume-wise pricey because Addison, DJ Moore, all in start 11. Like, there's not any teams out there that aren't starting those two dudes. I would think, right?
Yeah.
The first, I think, to me, the first is a big part of this conversation where it's like if this team is not rock solid, I still probably could get behind it, but man, if this team's not rock solid, that's a fucking penny, buddy. You're paying a pretty penny to go get them.
So right now in June, this is a fuck no. Like, I'm good. Maybe in season, but even in season, it still kind of feels like, dude, it feels like I'm paying a fucking lot in a start 11. It's start 9. It's a little bit more of a conversation.
Yeah, honestly, start 9, start 10, Mike. I've already hit the button. Start 11 is right where it's like, damn. You think about attrition, you think about the injuries. It's right on that needle where it's like, I don't want to do too much of this 3 legit assets and a 4th possible legit asset in a second here for one stud. I think I could get behind it if you're flush. Like, to me, this is you're paying the full boat price. The only way I'm probably doing this, though, right now, to Mike's point, I probably wouldn't. The only way I would do this is if you're telling me that you think this manager is unlikely to move Malik. You can't get Chase. You can't get Jefferson. This is your one shot to get him. If that's not the case, I think I'm probably mulling over other offers from other people. Not that I don't love Malik and have him as a wide receiver 1, but this is a start 11's a pretty hefty price, man. To your point, start 9, I would already do this, but start 11's tough, very tough.
I mean, can I get CD Lamb for cheaper? You know what I mean?
That's where I think in a start 11, Mike. As much as I love Malik, can't Puka, Nico, can't even if I'm not getting the Malik upside, can't I get close with those type of players for hopefully one of these main 3 assets not having to go, you know?
Yeah. Ideally, too. Like, I'd rather see what that first in Addison or DJ Moore gets me for the wide receiver.
That's the problem, Mike, in the start 11, right? Because in the start 9, I wouldn't really care about doing this. It's Mike, start 11, I'm not trying to give you both those receivers and this first.
And a second on top of it, just because.
Yeah. I mean, unless you're telling me this team is like absolutely goon squad, I have a hard time with it, man.
It's be a no for me, dog.
Yeah, at the moment right now, I think I'm passing, and it's tough for me to pass. Format dependent, frankly. Okay. Rob probably has left us, but we'll get to his question, you know, for free anyway. Rob, Superflex, full PPR, half tight end premium, start 10. Oh, I'm sorry. It's a 10-team, start 10. Acquired Jonathan Taylor, Brian Thomas Jr. in the 26th second and first, similar to the last deal. He traded away Jordyn Love, DK 101 in the 26th third. So, Mike, on paper here, thinking about this, right? You're talking about Genty to JT, but you're getting BTJ up from DK. And in this format, to me, the first, honestly, over or at least kind of in the range in the 10-team for Jordyn Love. And the second here, DK feels like the part that I don't know. DK's kind of how you feel about that player specifically. But in 10-team, I'm kind of wanting to consolidate to where you start DK, but he's a flex option that I'm not super excited about. Which side do you want here?
I think it's a pretty fair trade. Like the Jordyn Love part, I can tell you, you in a 10-team,
right?
Don't really give a shit. But
yep.
So like, I don't know if you look at a BTJ in the 101, cancel them out.
They're close, yeah, fair.
I mean, they're pretty close for people, so we just cancel those out. DK and JT.
I'd rather have JT in the 10-team, honestly.
I think I'd rather have JT too, right?
Yep.
And then the 27 first and second for Jordyn Love, like, fuck, I don't give a shit if I got to
sign off on it. I'll find a different quarterback. Yeah, I'm with it.
Yeah, I don't mind this one at all. Yep.
I think I will take the Rob Gronkowski side of this deal.
Yep.
Right here. Yep. Okay. Yep. Simon says, Hurts, May, Penix, A-Rich. You know what? We answered this as a super chat already. But for a super chat, I could get back to it. But pretty awesome. At least I remembered. Was this the same? Yes. Okay.
Yeah, we just asked it a couple times.
No, actually.
Oh, we got a different one. Another shitty 10-team. Listen, we're going to put a limit on Rob for one 10-team question
a
show.
Right, I got it up, but from moving forward, you get one 10-team question per day. All right,
I'm limiting you, Rob. Rob, you want to join the Patreon? You can ask all the fucking 10-team questions you want. You super chatted. I'll answer all.
That's a good plug. He acquired Herbert London in a third. He traded away Bucky, Braylon Allen, 26 first, and 27. Doesn't say by first. My quarterback room, I think that's supposed to be a 27 first. So you got Herbert London in a third, sent away Bucky in 2 first and Braylon Allen. I don't really care about the Braylon Allen part. 10-team probably is 2 first to go get London, honestly, though. His room is now Lamar, Herbert, Jacobs, JT, CMC, Chase, Nico, London, Neighbors, BTJ, Dunes. Roma Dunes. I never heard him called that before, but I know who he's talking about.
Dunes.
He has a, I will say this, you have an affinity, Rob, in these 10-team leagues to make sure you have like 6 of the sexy-ass receivers. So
yeah,
I think it's probably appropriate. I don't think either one of these are runaway. I think I like the other one better for you, but I think this is probably what you have to pay to go get a guy like London. I don't know if I would have done it with this team personally, but I get it.
Nah, I'm probably not doing it with this team either.
Yeah, you already had Chase, Nico, Neighbors, BTJ, Dunes. So unless you really hate Dunes, where's this guy going to slide in?
Yeah, I'm good.
I guess you're just kind of rich at a asset where you can move off of it, but it's a lot of times harder to get out of an asset like that for the full boat, personally.
And it wasn't like Herbert was something to, drastically change what are usually the valued quarterbacks anyways, right?
Right.
He's in the same Jordyn Love tier.
I was just going to say the same thing we talked about with Love on the other end. Like, I know you needed a second one here, but to me, I'm not trying to pay up for Herbert personally.
Yeah, I'm good. I don't think I would have done this one.
Nope. All right, you're 1 for 1, and that's why from now on you only get 1. Okay, that's the rule.
You should quit while you're ahead.
I have a Devy rookie draft coming up. My likely first selection will be between Higgins, J. Higgins, K. Williams, Tootin, Scatabo, or should I take Sellers? We can draft any available rookie Devy player. I'm taking Sellers ahead of all these guys for sure.
Yeah, biggest upside swing
by far. Because here's the way I look at this. Right, every one of these players has a very real bust potential, like extremely real. If Sellers hits, I shouldn't say there's not a single scenario. There is a very slim margin where you got a Puka type at the receiver here, right? Like, you have a, Bucky or even Bucky Irving, like for Tootin. Let's say he actually hits the Bucky Irving role that everyone's trying to pencil in, which is kind of insane when you think about it. Even if he hits that, if Sellers hits, I got bad news for you. It's not even going to be close. It's not going to be a fight at all.
And I'm going to assume that Jeremiah Smith and Ryan Williams aren't available.
Right. I would assume as well. Would you take Sellers in a 12-team Superflex ahead of those two or no?
It's going to be split for me. Like, I would definitely diversify, right? I don't want to give you like the cheap answer, but okay. The hype around Jeremiah Smith and Ryan Williams is like so secure.
I'm with you. They're safer and they carry a lot of upside as well. To your point, it might be slightly higher on the Sellers if it all hits. Yeah. But the risk is definitely way different.
Which is much different than when you asked me earlier, like guaranteed 101 pick in 26. Sure. The 101, I got the fallback, even if it isn't Sellers. I'm getting the next best.
If Sellers somehow falls on his face this year, you still have 101. Right, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Oh,
in a Devy scenario, like I'm taking Jeremiah Smith, Ryan Williams, LaNorris, Sellers before any of those other guys.
Fact. D-Walk. Go Birds. You guys rock. Keep on keeping on. D-Walk, appreciate you, man. Love having you as a part of the squad, buddy. Speaking of a part of the squad, I've seen in the chat here again. Let's see if I pull it up. I find it here. Give me a minute to look back on it. Pause. Look back at it. Someone was talking about the Jordyn polos, and right now we're not set. These aren't like available. It's really hard to get these. They're basically team orders, and you have to get really long runs. But eventually, we might try to get them at some point to be something that we can offer. But that's going to probably be on an exclusive, like you're part of the team deal. So SAUVAGE semester coming up starting next week. If you are in the SAUVAGE tier, if we ever do make some exclusive gear available, those are the people that will be able to purchase it. So shout out SAUVAGE. We got SAUVAGE semester. We got the Discord. We have Mike. Go ahead. Talk up the SAUVAGE love, man. I feel like people that aren't in there understand how great it is, buddy.
Little nugget. There is one, I can definitely say 3X Jordyn polo that the tags haven't even been removed off of.
Good for you. You know what? How about that? How about we actually have maybe, Mike, I don't know how bullish you're feeling about giving it away, but maybe we have a SAUVAGE giveaway here.
Yeah, I put on an extra large.
Dude, I was gonna say you continue to look trimmer and trimmer by the day. Honestly,
I'm swimming in this Michael Vick jersey right now.
Dude, well, because the other thing too, I'll say is like your beard also becomes noticeably bigger as you continue to shrink down. I love it, man. So
my head got smaller too. Like I had to get different fitted hats.
What a poor time! What a poor time to put that order in for the old size, right?
I was what I say earlier. I was transitioning.
See, that's what he meant. All right, get your head out of the gutters, everybody. All right, Mike is transitioning into different size. Yes, we can rank these, but yeah, go check out the SAUVAGE. And Mike, that's a pretty. So is that the one that has the McNuggets on the back?
No. So it's actually, you sent me 2 polos.
Oh, the tags. Gotcha. Yeah, the polo. Oh, so one of these. Oh, sick. Yeah.
One of those polos.
That's a dope giveaway.
Has just been hanging in my closet, just like a remnant of a time.
Okay, that's a good point. We planned ahead on that, by the way. You're right. We got 2 of them, so we got the one to give away. I love this. I love where your head's at. I've forgotten about that. Yeah. By the way, you're rocking the hat. It's just backwards. How you liking it?
It is. I love the hat. The hat. Got the hat finally. Feels good. The other day I wore it forward. That way people could see the South Harmon. But it's Wednesday night AMA. It's a vibe. I gotta
Absolutely. So
Got appearances to keep up, buddy.
But I mean, you're gone for a week, and listen, they're calling you by name over here. It's what you want. He wants your thoughts on Rashee RIce.
Well, he's out there. He's running routes. He's not running with the injured guys. By all accounts, he looks really good out there.
Yep.
I'm still not fully bought in yet. Like I'm willing to be wrong on this, right? And everybody will point to the 21.7 points per game he was when he was fully healthy last year to start the season, and then boom, knee
first
injury.
4 games.
Yep, knee injury gone. Right, done.
Speaking of which, I wish you would have been on last week with Seth. Seth was talking about how he's very bullish on Rashee. I was like, we needed a mic here for a good fight.
That's fine. That is complete. There's too many unknowns for me to justify his dynasty price. And I had a nice discussion on Twitter on YouTube comments on why I wasn't as high on Rashee RIce. I think there's other options that feel a little bit more safer and maybe don't have that ceiling outcome of 21 points per game, but they have a nice ceiling of 19 or 20 if they actually hit it. So there's safer options that I don't have to pay Rashee RIce prices for. So that's kind of where I'm at. Like, I think his price never dipped enough, right? Nobody ever really said, listen, there's a lot of risk involved with this one. Injury, possible suspension, emergence of Xavier Worthy. Those are the biggest three, right? There's not enough people factoring that in to justify his price for me, and I'm just going to shop at the cheaper store, right? And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Like,
sure.
Yep, Mike will not have any Rashee RIce, and he will have missed the boat, and it's impossible to get him now at his discounted price of wide receiver 14 or 15 or wherever the fuck it is now. I'm fully comfortable missing the boat on that one.
You're willing to take the swing and understanding the risk of if he pops off, it's going to be a horse that gets away. I'll say, because to your point there, Mike, I think what I've seen at least, now I have not bought any, and I'm not like actively looking to buy Rashee RIce, right? But I will say he's in this range where I've definitely seen people that are bullish and they're closer to wide receiver 12. Mike, you can kick rocks for sure at that price. If you tell me though that I'm in a scenario where he's kind of in the range of a guy like Jordan Addison or Jamo Emeka, all of a sudden I'm very much willing to play ball. So I think to me this would be a cost dependent thing because he's in this weird tier. To me it's a very big difference if you put him closer to JSN and if you put him closer to Addison. And I would take him at the dollar store, so to speak, right? I'll take the dollar store version, but I'm not ready to put him as a household family friendly name, big name brand price. I'm good.
Right. He's in that spot where there's a lot of variables to it. And most of the time, if I got to pay, you're telling me I have to pay this wide receiver 14, 15 price, Adam.
No, I'm 100% with you in the theory on this, 100%.
Why wouldn't I just go pay that for A.J. Brown?
I'll pay the extra second or even second plus to go get the more proven commodity and possibly – if I go to not A.J. Brown, someone that might even have higher upside if they play well, right? So that's kind of – I'm with you. He's in that spot where if you told me he was more like wide receiver 20-ish, 18-ish, maybe, when he gets close to that wide receiver 12 range, there's no way. It's and I think to your point, Mike, I just don't feel confident enough. I could see it. I don't feel confident enough to say, yeah, I'm going to put that full boat price on him being a set it and forget it wide receiver 1. That's where I'm at.
Yeah. You love what he did last year. The injury, by all accounts, though, he looks great from it. He's going to be fully healthy. I mean, we're in June. He's already out here looking fantastic on Twitter blurbs. Yeah. I still don't know what the suspension is going to be if there is one. We don't know. We don't have that clarity. And then, like I said, a lot of people ain't talking about it. They want to dismiss it, but Xavier Worthy came on down the stretch, not just in the second half of the Super Bowl after it was a blowout. He was doing it throughout the playoffs, and especially towards the end of the regular season when they started using him downfield in the role that he should have been. I just don't know.
We've got 3 questions that we're going to get through as quickly as we can, and we will be back next week again. I don't know if we'll be doing 26 holograms, but we'll be back, all right?
Yes.
Don Gridiron traded Pearsall mid 26, late first, mid to late first, a 26 second for JSN. Start 9, Mike. So we talked about earlier with Malik, obviously much different JSN and Malik in my opinion, but this is a different cost. You know, a late first, possibly mid first, Pearsall second for JSN and a start 9. Where are you at?
I think you're okay doing this. I think you're okay doing this and tearing up because it is a start 9. Like, I think that's a fair price. This also could bite you in the ass, though. Like, you need to know that there is a little bit of risk involved in this one. If, let's just hypothetically say, you know, another receiver coming off an injury, Brandon Ayuk is very, very slow, and Juwan Jennings is just not Juwan Jennings that, you know, like, great value. He's just back to being Juwan Jennings no one gives a fuck about. And Ricky Pearsall ends up being like, holy shit, this is the wide receiver 1 in this offense for Brock Purdy. You know, Mr. Moneybags now. Mm-hmm. You're going to sit there and go, wow, Pearsall is actually putting up pretty similar numbers to JSN, and I gave up first and a second.
So the way I've been, Mike, I'll say, done enough of these trades on both sides where tearing down and tearing up, depending on the format, depending on my situation. Yep. The way I look at this type of a trade, right? To me, JSN, based on how he played last year and with everything we project moving forward, he's kind of, I'll say, I'm not going to say totally maxed out, but he's 95+%, right? He's in the range where you're basically at this point, you're paying for the asset to continue to play at a high level and the fact that he's young, so you get the longevity. The issue on the other end, I think that sometimes, like this trade right now probably seems and looks easy on paper, but it's because you're kind of judging what the asset is at the moment. Think about Pearsall in the scenario of, if he starts to, at least for a moment even, emerge as what is viewed as the wide receiver 1, right? Let's say he starts to actually duel Jennings, right? And then he's, to your point, Ayuk is not playing that well or is injured, and they moved on from Debo, right? Pearsall could be very much in where J-Mo's at easily next year, and that's not even being aggressive with his value spike. The other thing I think that I've learned a lot with mid to late first, you tell me mid to late, and it starts with mid, that to me means you think the team's good and it could be a playoff team. But I also think if you're telling me it's mid, there's a scenario, there's 3 injuries to this team, and now all of a sudden you're talking about a pick where you're in the range of those players we just put on holograms, and Ricky Pearsall's a top 20 wide receiver, and JSN, you're just hoping continues to be, you know, back-end wide receiver 1. To me, I think this is one of those trades where there's a very good chance it works out for you, but I think there's a lot of underlying potential problems.
If this is up from JSN for like a couple spots, right? JSN's valued pretty high because we like what he did last year, but let's be honest, we're still looking at a 15-pointer, you know, point per game wide receiver that we can see, oh, maybe there's a little bit more growth. You know, maybe now with DK out of town and Tyler Lockett gone now maybe he's a little bit higher. If you're telling me you jump up to Drake London and Nico Collins for this same price,
this is too good to be true, right?
But those are 18 point per game guys, right? Like those are already solidified. There's not a projection on like we need this increase to make it make sense. So
because part of Jackson Smith's,
there's some risk.
Yeah, because part of his price and the reason he's up there is because he's so young, and it's like the production hasn't had to be what the older guys has had to be so far. It'll be interesting to see. And again, I think more often than not in a start 9, you'll end up winning this trade. But this is one of those type of moves where if you do this too often, you'll end up getting bit, and you'll also run out of depth. So just be cautious about these type of moves too often. I would say open 24 hours. We are not, but close. Can you rank round 4 through 7 running backs, and how much different are they in Dynasty, if at all? We don't have to necessarily do all of them, but Mike, you want to talk about some of our favorites and which ones we are kind of meh on?
Yeah, I already ranked them. You know, part of the Patreon. Another plug there.
There you go.
You can
check it out. Patreon.com/South Harmon.
And I don't think it's really changed too much. Kyle Monogonai has been like one of those guys I try to pick up on waivers all over the place. But
sure.
Do you also see that Eric Bieniemy yelling at him for
that's not
moving like an old man?
Listen, as a guy that didn't play that level of football, but just in sports, that's a yell you don't want to hear, buddy. That's not good.
Yeah, round 4 through 7 running backs. I got a shit ton that are in the exact same tier. Obviously, I have ones that are a little bit higher. Tootin, Scatabo get a shit ton of love, but Eric and I have talked on a podcast, America's Game. You can check that one out. Comes out on Thursdays. Mm-hmm. Adam, you and I have talked about this. in all reality, between Toot and Scatabo, I don't understand why Trevor Etienne is not in that same conversation. So I have him ranked pretty fucking high. When you were first doing rookie drafts and ADP was busted on Sleeper, you could get all the Trevor Etienne you wanted in the 4th round or the 5th round of your rookie draft. Now I see he's got
closed.
Those days are fucking gone.
It's not open 24 hours, right?
Woody Marks, Dylan Sampson.
Woody Marks, you just took it from me. That was going to be a guy. I'm looking at my ranks right now, and I don't disagree with it. I'm bullish on Woody Marks, I think, relative to the community, man. I have him inside my top 40.
Jarquez Hunter. I like the opportunity and the talent from Ollie Gordon, so I have him up pretty high.
Sure.
Brashad Smith's been one of my favorite ones. Taj Brooks, Devin Neal, DJ Giddens, kind of in that order. And then like some more darling ones, right? Jaden Blue is going to be a favorite of a lot of people. I understand that. Jordan James, much as I don't really think he was that great, I can't discount the fact that they actually spent a pretty meaningful pick on him, So Jordan James is up there. Monogamai, Damian Martinez, Rocket Sanders, kind of those. Fuck. Still like him. After that, everybody else is any other fucking running back out there is just like a kind of a dart throw. Me.
And what I will say is I'm good on the whole Khalil Mullins. You guys can have him,
I'll pick him up on free agency. That's about it.
I'll probably let someone else spend the money. I'll put the 0 bid in just in case somebody completely hates him.
I didn't say I was spending a lot.
Yep. We're spending the I just wanted to distinguish, I'm basically willing to put a lot of these players on my squad regardless of best baller lineup and see, but he's one of the ones I'm not itching to go
open 24 hours though. Woody Marks on your list there just doesn't get enough love. Trevor
for sure
does not get enough love in my opinion.
Mike, it's crazy. I'm looking at my ranks and we're same on these players, but I have Woody and I have Trevor Etienne kind of a lot ahead of a lot of these other names. Jaden Blue, one of them, plenty of other rookies here. I got Woody inside my top 40 and just outside of my top 40 is Trevor Etienne, not far behind. They're both much higher for me.
And Chuba got the contract. He played well last year.
Yeah.
He's not a world beater though. He's not.
This is the last year of guaranteed money on his deal too. For those that
I think Etienne really came on and was a favorite of mine, late riser. And then he got round 4 draft capital, similar to Tootin and Cam Scatabo. So, and then Woody Marks playing behind an older Joe Mixon who has been banged up in the past. Right now, I don't know if he's dealing with a contract situation or a fucking injury or whatever, but the OTA situation for him hasn't been that good.
Yeah.
Woody Marks, good pass catcher. We kind of talked about it in the 26 class, right? Good pass catcher. So if you have that, you already look at a role, and I think he's already better than Agumbawale. So Woody Marks deserves it. Yeah.
Okay, last question. Of course, Patty Mills. Shout out, Patty. I know. One quarterback. Oh, damn it, Patty. You know what? You're better than that. No. You're better than that. All right?
Yeah, you are better than that.
I love you, Patty. You know I love you. But you gotta come. You can't let us go out here deflated off of a night like that. There was one other question I actually had starred. So, Patty, you can super chat it if you want. I wouldn't recommend it. There was it this one? Damn it, Patty.
No.
Here it is.
You did it.
How are you feeling on Caleb? Would you add Jacobs and Waddle to Caleb for Josh Allen in a 12-team start 10? So Caleb, Josh Jacobs, Jalen Waddle, 3 for 1 to go get Josh Allen. Mike, where are you at?
It's pricey, but yes. Start 10, 12-team, super flex, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Jaden Daniels, Jalen Hurts. Those are fucking war gods.
I've seen a lot of. Well, let me rephrase this because X is just. Every time I'm on there for more than like a couple minutes, I'm like, what am I doing here? But there's been a lot of people that I do respect pumping Jalen Waddle as potential.
For sure.
Boom this year. I mean, I think he definitely has bounced back in his range of outcomes. Jacobs was good. This is one of those things, though, I look at it from this standpoint. Caleb, if you're betting on the Bears to be really good with Ben Johnson, obviously you should be betting on Caleb. But if I get to move from him and to go all the way up to the God tier and Josh Allen, can I find a way, even in a start 10, right, to get somewhat similar production to Jacobs. Maybe not the same. Definitely not the same as what he got last year. But can I get a running back 2 to fill that spot? You know, a Chuba Hubbard-like type of a player, right, that of last year, right, someone in that ilk. And can I find a way to, as gross as it is, Jacoby Myers and, you know, Juwan Jennings, my way into keeping Waddle, if these were both even starters on my team. I think I look at it from the standpoint of going to get Josh Allen is a very hard thing to do. And if I'm coming off of players that I find that I can replace in my lineup like that, this is easy. You don't even have to bring any picks to the table. I think I'd probably do it. Now, if you're really bullish on Caleb, I get it. But Josh Allen is just in that guy tier, go to tier, man.
He is. And if we want to put it in startup ADP terms, right?
It's a second to like the 101, right? Basically, from Caleb.
So you're talking a second rounder for Caleb Williams, mid-second rounder in a startup.
Yep.
What the fuck? I just had Waddle and I lost him.
I was going to say 5 or 6, but
yeah, a 5th and a 7th for Josh
Jacobs is a 7th. Okay.
A 2, a 5, and a 7 for the 101. And
I'm doing it.
10 Superflex.
I'm doing that, and especially I think Mike again. The reason I don't have to send my first in here. That's really nice, man. I'm with this. I'm with this trip crown. I don't think you can get Josh Allen, the better Josh here, very often for a package like this. You know, straight up.
Yep. Yeah, I do this.
Yep. I'm really excited to watch Caleb, and hopefully he you know plays well in this good situation. But if someone's gonna let me cash out like this, I'll be happy to cash that ticket out, buddy, a little early. You know.
Yes, sir.
Speaking of which, I don't think we're cashing out early, honestly, because we're at just shy of 2 hours. However,
yeah,
I'm gonna hit the cash out button, man. This was fun though. This was fun. I think the reason I thought it was really fun is because at this point, to your point earlier, that we have a little bit of it gets stagnant and stale. But man, it's like the hype for a lot of the 25 players at this point almost becomes a little nauseating to where it's like we're pumping too much. We're putting players that realistically have a lot of holes in their profile and don't have the best draft capital into legitimate assets that are crazy high in Dynasty. Like, for the record, Tootin just passed Jacoby Myers and Michael Pittman right now. I'm looking at an ADP. So it's like,
okay, guys,
listen, I mean, I get it. I understand the situation if Tootin hits, but we haven't seen him play a down. Like, it's just and he's a 4th-round pick. This is, I think, let's talk about next year. Let's talk about something else, you know?
I had to pull it up, too, because I just looked. Got an email today letting me know that YouTube chat is now ranking live chats, right? The community leaderboard. So top 3 for the night, you know, like a little flex. Dynasty Berry, number 1, taking the 101 spot. Patty Mills, even with that 1 QB bullshit. Number 2.
Shout out DB2. I love when he I wish I could have the actual emoji up here, but the big laughing emoji. He's talking. He basically, you know, just a part of the community and talking it up. I love to see it, man. Love you, DB. Love everyone that's here, super chat or not. There's a few spots still for the SAUVAGE tier. SAUVAGE semester starting next week. Can't wait. Going to be doing that for a couple weeks. And Mike, I'm telling you this. It's hard to believe. Like we're going to have this dead period, which feels like it's stale and stagnant. But, man, the season is going to be here for you. Know it, buddy. Like, hard to believe, but I'm excited for it, man. I'm excited for it.
Well, let's go, man. We're getting there. All right. Got 2 months of shit. Then we'll be back.
Literally 2 months of shit.
2 months of shit.
Because shit.
Love it, man.
South Harmon, we're glad you're here today. We are out of here for today. Just shy of 2 hours in. We love you. We'll see you back here, both of us, Mike and myself, for AMA. We love you. We're out of here. Peace.